who is not here yet, but will be here in a little bit.
Oh, I forgot to take that out.
But we'd like to welcome you. We have a great day ahead. Just to go over real quick on embargo, just to reiterate, I know it's in the press kit. I sent it around Sunday. If you didn't get it, let me know. I'll resend it. But on Camry all-wheel drive, so Camry all-wheel drive are 2020, so production starts in March. So since we're coming up on on sale date, driving impressions and then fuel economy in there as well. Those are embargoed. We don't have pricing yet. We're working on that, but it'll be around a $1,500 step up. So LE up, SE up, looking at that grade.
And Avalon totally different.
I'm sorry?
And Avalon will be totally different.
Avalon will be totally different. And since that's a 2021, pricing, official pricing won't come out until August. Mark DeYoung is here. He is our Avalon engineer, or he's chief engineer of Avalon and Camry all-wheel drive. So if you talk to Mark today, you might be able to pick his brain a little bit more about plans for that for 2021. So we have Mark. Also from Toyota, we have our general manager in vehicle marketing for all cars, Heather Updegraff. And then from the Camry team, Luz Espinosa. And from product planning, we have Barbie Leanne back there. So today, it'll be a great drive. It's about a 40 minute drive out to kind of where our base will be. Out there, we're calling it a snow cross course, so it's a blast. Just driving on snow. We've set it up. It'll be a really, really good time to showcase the vehicles. Rowdy will go over that a little bit. Just one note on the vehicles. We have 5 Camry all-wheel drives, 1 Avalon all-wheel drive, and then we also have, Tom will go over our all-wheel drive systems real quick, but we also have the new 2020 Highlander, both in a hybrid all-wheel drive and gas all-wheel drive. RAV4 we have in hybrid all-wheel drive and gas all-wheel drive, and then we also have Prius all-wheel drive E out there. So on the Camrys and Avalon, everyone's going to obviously want to get in those first drive, and we just, as the day went on, they started sitting, so you'll have plenty of time as the day goes on, but just be respectful kind of in the morning as people are trying to grab some stuff. But other than that, it's going to be a great day. A lot of fun on the snow. Tom will talk about it, Rowdy will talk about it, but I think you guys are going to have the better course today. It was like 3 degrees last night, so everything refroze. So we're excited. If you have any questions, let Cole, myself, Nancy know. We're here to help. And I'm going to bring up Tom Kretschmann, who will go over the all-wheel drive systems. That's right.
Thank you, Zach. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is soaked in all their coffee and is ready to learn a little bit about our all-wheel drive systems. My name is Tom Kretschmann. I'm a product technology education planner for Toyota. Basically, I'm a technology specialist. I produce some of the materials that we give to our dealers and our regions to explain how our vehicles work. And what I'm going to do is go over the systems that you'll be driving and experiencing today. Keep in mind, none of the vehicles that we have here are our body-on-frame, so none of the 2-speed transfer case, none of the heavy-duty systems. So first off, I want to show you the system that is on the new Camry all-wheel drive and Avalon all-wheel drive. This is the dynamic torque control all-wheel drive system. This system also appears on some of the RAV4 models. Now, I know we're going to show you the models up here on the screen. In your press kit and at the end of this presentation, there's a table that actually spells out which models give which systems. So basically, what I'm hoping that you get out of this is an understanding of how they work. So the dynamic torque control all-wheel drive system has been used by Toyota for several years. And it consists of a mechanical all-wheel drive system that turns the drive shaft anytime the vehicle is moving. If all-wheel drive is needed, there's an electromagnetic coupler. It's actually integrated into the differential that will engage to give torque to the rear wheels. The differential on this vehicle is an open differential. So if there's wheel slippage either left or right, that's controlled by the traction management systems that will engage a brake as needed. That will deliver the torque to the other wheel. This system can engage at really any vehicle speed. Now on Highlander and Rav, the Limited and Platinum Highlanders, TRD Off-Road, Adventure, and Limited Ravs, they get dynamic torque vectoring with driveline disconnect. This system's a little bit different. Integrated into the rear differential are two clutch packs. They're electronically controlled and they can distribute the torque left or right. When the system is not needed, we can disconnect it. So we'll have these dog clutches here. And the dog clutches, if you're not familiar with them, they're not slipper clutches. They literally engage like gears. When they're engaged, they're locked, and when they're disengaged, they're fully open. The reason for the driveline disconnect feature is for fuel efficiency. When the vehicle doesn't need all-wheel drive, we're not spinning a drive shaft, because if you remember on the previous system, that drive shaft was always spinning. In this system, we can disconnect it. So the front dog clutch is actually part of the transaxle. The rear dog clutch is part of the rear differential. Now, on the Highlander L, LE, and XLE, we use a similar system, but we forego the torque vectoring. So in this system, you have the dog clutches, so when the all-wheel drive is not needed, we can disconnect the drive shaft for efficiency, but we use an electromagnetic coupler to engage all-wheel drive. And again, these electromagnetic couplers, keep in mind, these are slipper clutches, so we can vary the amount of torque going to the rear wheels, anywhere from about 10% all the way up to 50%, splitting the power front and rear evenly. So in this Highlander all-wheel drive system, the electromagnetic coupler and the dog clutch in the rear is part of the differential, and then this dog clutch is actually part of the transaxle. But no torque vectoring. It's an open differential, just like in the dynamic torque all-wheel drive system, where if there's wheel slippage, we apply brakes.
Can you explain under what conditions the dog clutches would be engaged, but the coupler would be disengaged?
Well, the dog clutches will pre-engage to ready this coupler to be able to engage. And at that point, as needed, it can begin the duty cycle, whatever the computer systems decide is needed. So now I want to switch. We've talked about the mechanical systems. Now I'm going to switch to the hybrid systems. And there's two hybrid systems that we have. Electronic on-demand all-wheel drive, we've had this for several years. This is going to appear on the Highlander and on the Rav. This system has no mechanical connection to the rear wheels. When it's not needed, it's a two-wheel drive hybrid using our hybrid synergy drive, MG1 and MG2 motor generators in the front transaxle. If power is needed to the rear axle, the computers will engage motor generator rear, or the rear motor generator here. It is an open differential back here, so we still control torque by applying brakes. But that motor generator, when not needed or when braking, can regenerate electricity and charge the HV battery, just like the motor generators do up front. That's different than what is on our Prius. Now this system recently was upgraded for Highlander and Rav. This motor generator is now more powerful. It allows those vehicles to do some light off-roading, some trail use and so forth. You'll actually see a trail button in our hybrid SUVs. And now we talk about Prius. Prius's whole reason for being is efficiency, low emissions and fuel efficiency. So the big difference you're going to find with Prius is, unlike the systems on the Rav and Highlander, which can work at any speed, Prius has some speed limitations. It's going to engage those rear wheels every time you start from a stop up to 6 miles an hour. which is different than the Rav and Highlander. Those always engage up to 15 miles an hour. The other thing about the Prius system is once you reach 43 miles an hour, well, let me explain it this way. Always engages up to 6. If it needs traction from the rear axle, it can still engage up to 43 miles an hour. Above 43, it's not going to engage. Again, for efficiency. But this rear motor is also different. It's much smaller than what's in the Rav and the Highlander. It also does not have permanent magnets. It's an induction motor. The reason we did that was because having permanent magnets in the motor creates a little bit of drag when not in use. Now it's beneficial on the Rav and Highlander because permanent magnets allow us to regenerate electricity when braking. On the Prius, it doesn't regenerate because it's an inductive magnet motor, but when not in use, there's no parasitic drag. This was our engineer's solution to giving Prius all-wheel drive without sacrificing efficiency. So this is the table that you'll get in your press kit. This explains which models get which systems. Thanks to
They're on
Zach.
the table as well. We printed some.
Oh yes,
on the table.
perfect.
All right. And one thing of note is these slides, there's a PDF of all these slides in the press kit. Just email me if you'd like the high res of those images. A couple people yesterday had said, can I get the actual images to use? So now I'd like to bring up Mark DeYoung and Heather Updegraff. They have a couple quick things they'd like to go over, and then we'll open up for Q&A, and then get to driving.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So let me address a couple of questions that may be on your mind before you even think of them. First off, you may be wondering, why is Toyota introducing all-wheel drive on Camry and Avalon when many automakers are abandoning the car market, right? So there were close to 5 million passenger cars sold last year, which is about 28% of the total light vehicle market. We think there's still opportunity there. So we continue to double down in this area. And Camry, as you know, has been the #1 selling car in the United States for 18 years in a row. And one of the secrets to the success of Camry, I would say, is that there are many different variants for many different types of customers. And we have a group of customers that has been asking for all-wheel drive for some time now. So this is not the first time we put all-wheel drive on the Camry. Last time we had it was in 1991. For bonus points, does anybody remember what the name of that? All-Track. Wow, that's impressive. It's 30 years ago. So, somebody aged themselves real quickly here. Anyway, another question that you may have on your mind is what percent mix are we expecting an all-wheel drive? And we're looking at 15 to 20% all-wheel drive, closer to the 15% end for Camry, closer to 20% for Avalon. And when we ask our regions how much they would like to order of the all-wheel drives, half of our regions came back with they would like anywhere from 30 to 60% mix on the all-wheel drive. So there's plenty of opportunity in this area. And today you'll have the chance to drive them and see how we did, or more specifically, how Mark and his team did. So Mark, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, thank you. So one question that we've been getting a lot is what about the V6 with the all-wheel drive? So you may have that question. So we want to kind of get that answered for you. And if you have more questions about it, feel free to ask me, of course. But we looked at the V6 at first. You know, we asked ourselves the question, what do we want to do? Do we want to do the V6 all-wheel drive, or do we want to do an L4 all-wheel drive? So we built an L4 all-wheel drive mule, and we drove it. And it felt really strong, it felt really good. We were really happy with it. And then we also look at the Camry mix. So about 6% of Camrys sold are V6. So when we look at those two things, we say the L4, because it feels so good and because that's what most customers want, that's what we did, that L4 all-wheel drive. And it helps for fuel economy and pricing and all of that. So it's kind of a win-win for the customer. And then one other thing that I wanted to mention was the tuning of the traction control system when you go out there on that snow course today. Of course, you can turn traction control off if you want to have some extra fun, but at least try it with the traction control on and feel how that we've tuned that traction control system, because we spent a lot of time allowing the vehicle to use its rear wheels and, you know, get you going where you want to go. Sometimes the traction control system will kick on and it will kind of kill the engine, and you know, you kind of get frustrated and say, come on, go, go, go. See what we've done with this vehicle, try it out, because we're allowing it to do a little bit more than we typically would.
Okay, with that, we'll open it up for questions for any of us. Yes, Jerome?
What role does all-wheel drive play in migration from sedan to crossover?
Yeah, we have seen that some customers are leaving sedan to go to the SUV for all-wheel drive. So that is part of the reason that we're putting all-wheel drive on our sedans. And that's really to help stem the flow. So not expecting that it's gonna cannibalize from the SUVs, but reduce the flow from the sedans. Great question. Yeah.
Do you guys wish you would have done this a few years ago to maybe stem some of that tide?
You know, when we came out with the new K platform on the new Camry, North America really started pushing at that time. Look, we've got to have all-wheel drive. So in North America, we made the business case, and so that's why it's all been done here in North America. All of the engineering's been done here. So we got it in as quickly as we could.
Well, can you take me back through some of that? I mean, there's obviously a lot of product planning discussion before you did the K TNGA platform. At that point, someone said, nope, no all-wheel drive, and then literally as soon as it went on sale, you made the case, and then it took a couple years to get it. I mean, how did what changed? Was there a hue and cry that came out from the customers, and how did you get that, and how did that timing go with this decision?
You know, there's not an exact story of how all of that happened, but essentially that's what happened, right? They came out with the K platform. We had input into it. We had influence on it. So we had a lot of input from North America. We requested it at that time. The decision was made at that time that no, we're not going to do all-wheel drive for the K platform for the sedans. But you know, we continuously are getting this feedback from the customers. When the new Camry came out, we're hearing from our customers, hey, we really wanted all-wheel drive. So again, the North America team, we got together and we said, we need to do this. So we made the case.
I was wondering on the Prius all-wheel drive, you said there's an open differential in back. Do you simulate a differential action with the electric motor and adjust power right and left coming out of corners?
No. So on the Prius and on all the hybrid, the SUVs and the Prius, the electric motor actually drives essentially a standard mechanical differential. So it's not the motors directly turning the wheels, it's through the open diff. The other thing I want to explain is that all of these systems, they're considered dynamic. So they don't have to see wheel slippage in order to provide torque to the rear wheels. If the computers determine under certain conditions, you're on dry pavement, sunny day, but you're in a corner and you're asking a lot of those front two contact patches, they're trying to turn the car, it can deliver torque to the rear as needed to basically help the car stay on the driver's intended line. So they are active systems that don't need wheel slippage to engage.
Is ground clearance the same between the front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive sedans?
Yeah, for Camry and Avalon, ground clearance is the same.
For Heather, what about the role of intercepting customers who might be very set on wanting a sedan, but also wanting all-wheel drive, what are the top 3 sedans you would say in the competitive set that already have all-wheel drive and could be potential competitors to Camry because of that?
Yeah, I don't know that there are even 3, actually. There's
Or
the,
I
there's the
think
Nissan
3,
Altima and the Subaru Legacy, and now we've got the Camry.
So Altima,
Mhm.
Legacy, okay.
That's basically it.
Okay, thanks.
And both of those vehicles use a CVT, but we have a direct automatic transmission.
That's Subaru, the Subaru all-wheel drive volume, well, just Subaru Legacy in general, volume is very small. So when we come out of the gate on a vehicle that's over 300,000 units and a 15% mix, we'll take a lot of the all-wheel drive sedan market, we'll basically take it. We're seeing the success with Prius and the all-wheel drive mix there. So we'll have some of the best performing all-wheel drive sedans in this category.